Which way does the ocean run to the river? Back down the path of the river. It could go any way, you say. It can go any way. It can go any way that you think it will go to you. Good afternoon, good people, and welcome to another edition of Montez at Midday. And I'm your host, Dre Montez. How's everyone doing today? It is what I like to call Flashback Friday, Fist Pump Friday, Feel Good Friday, and What It Do Friday. How's everyone doing? Thank you for tuning into the show. It means a lot. And this may be the last time we get to say this, but Happy New Year to you. First of all, Happy New Year to you. If I haven't told you yet, and it's your first time tuning into the show this year, Happy New Year to you. Hope your resolutions are going well and on pace. Hope your path is going on right now. Hope that new job is going well for you in a new place, in your new state of mind and being. Hope all those things are going well for you. So much going on this action-packed weekend, but most importantly, we have what is going on here in this region. Blizzard Watch 24 Part 2. We're gonna do it again because I don't think we got our message off the last time. But if it is your first time tuning in, get some high fives in the building. Chest bump this thing. Let's hug it out. Let's get in there for the real thing. There you go. One more time. I think we can do it. Oh, there we go. All right, we get it in. Everybody staying hydrated. Get that morning walk in and that afternoon walk in. Either way, let's get that exercise in. Your health matters. It really does. If you are celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you for sure. It's a birthday weekend. It's Martin Luther King Jr. birthday weekend as well. And we also have football going on this weekend. Playoff football. Yes. January is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. If you're celebrating an anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well. If you're going on a vacation, if you're going away for a couple of days to reset the system, you deserve it. It's understandable, whether it's a girl's trip or a guy's trip. Either way, those trips are needed. All right, let's get through our pillars of the day. We're going to let it go. Ignore them. Give it time. Don't compete. Stay calm. It's on you. And laugh. If you want a good, decent laugh, from the producers of Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane has a new series based on the movie Ted. I don't know what it is when you're a child on this Flashback Friday moment. Going down memory lane, brought to you by the Lincoln Movie Theater in beautiful downtown Bell Vegas. Don't forget, each and every Wednesday is $5 Wednesdays. Don't forget, take advantage of it. Check them out. You can take the whole family. There's something for the kid and you as well as the kids, grandma and grandpa as well. Check out the Lincoln Movie Theater for sure. But on this Flashback Friday, when you're watching a movie like Ted or even a new series Ted, or even Family Guy, the TV show, the sensation of having a dog that could talk. We all wish Snoopy could talk, but Snoopy talked in a way that we could understand as kids in that moment watching Charlie Brown back in the day. But as we got older, somewhere where the concept came on, when you were a kid between the ages of 5 and probably 9 years old, you wanted to run away from home with your talking dog. Where did that come from? Where did the theory of wanting to run away from home with your pet come from with little boys when they're little? What did that even thought process come from? That you want to run away with your pet that you think can talk or a stuffed animal? That is just amazing how that whole process of running away, we want to get away from here with our make-believe dog that can talk or stuffed animal. My, oh my, a child's imagination never goes unnoticed for sure. But if you get a chance, check out Ted, that new series for sure. Well, today on the show, we got some things to talk about to get off our chest. I find it by paying attention, being a little bit more observant, understanding surroundings, understanding people, listening to people. That's all applicable today. A stress test. Have you ever had one? What does that consist of? Of course, the matchups this weekend in the NFL, and a little bit about tailgating at home. We're going to talk about those things today on the show for sure. If you have not heard our latest episode of our podcast, Who's to Blame? It is up and available wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at for sure. So that is awesome right there. What's happening, Mickey? What's going on, my brother from the state of Washington? How you doing? Hope the weather is agreeing with you up there in the corner. Hope it's agreeing with you up there in the corner. But we are here on Blizzard Watch 2024 Part 2. They saying between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., get your ass home, get off the streets. That's what they saying. I don't know who they are, but that's what they're saying. So we all going to be safe out there, driving cautious in the wind, getting to the grocery store, getting what you need, taking your time. Okay, no need to be in a rush. Everything's okay. You still got time to window shop for Valentine's Day for sure. All right. But being observant of everything that's around us, some pay attention, some don't, whatever it may be. But right now at these times, especially since COVID, since we survived COVID and we're at where we're at right now, do you find it easier to talk with people in public or wherever you may be? Or are you more cautious of what you're saying when you're having a conversation with people? I think they both depend on the conversation and where you are at. I mean, you should be able to talk the way you need to talk about an intelligent conversation that you're talking about. Now, if you're just jiving around and joshing and just throwing back conversations back and forth that has no relevance to anything at all, that's different. But if it's a professional type of a conversation, I think it can be an easier conversation to be had if you know the topic of discussion. But those discussions that deem to be a little risque in the verbiage, I think it's pretty much where you're at, your surroundings, and what the conversation is about. Because I look at some of these forums that have been going on lately across the board, whether it's NIL, whether it's political things that are taking place in these in-town meetings in these different municipalities. There's some type of forum going on. And you can tell by the way they're presenting themselves, they're doing the over-the-shoulder look, being a little bit hesitant in speaking with a clear and sound mind because they don't feel it is easy to have that type of discussion in that setting and surrounding. So I'm wondering, are majority of these forums moving forward? Are they thinking about going a little bit more online where people can feel a bit more comfortable in their own surrounding? You know, people feel a little bit more comfortable doing a Zoom from their home rather than going to a think tank and doing a Zoom there, because now you got other people around. You have to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. But I was just thinking about that because what's going on press-wise as well with the questions that they're presenting from the sports media and the entertainment media. Easier to discuss something, more cautious of what you're saying so it's not taken out of context whatsoever. But it is Fist Pump Friday, Flashback Friday, Feel Good Friday for sure. Check us out on Facebook, Dre Montez. Check us out on our Who's to Blame page on Facebook, as well as IG, that's what the kids are calling it, Who's to Blame the podcast, Twitter at W2B Dre Montez, and YouTube, Dre Montez. And we have also on a TikTok, Dre Montez 63. We're branching out there. We're reaching out to different platforms to soothe in and hear different ideas and meet interesting new people that are on some unique paths of their own and getting their story out there, getting their product out there, or just being seen the way they want to be seen and or heard. That's what I'm looking at right there. I talked about this a little bit last week as the sports injuries occur. What's on the field in the immediate moment of a very serious injury? What's right there to make sure that the player, the athlete, doesn't go into shock in a totally different way? Is there some other type of reassurance there other than just doctors that touch you, but doctors that listen to you, if that makes sense? So I'm wondering, in the sports world, the higher ups, we know what they do to the peons and the meat testers, the athletes, the people that really pay the bills and get the lights on. But a stress test, how far across the board in coaching is that done? To actually have a stress test done. Have you ever had a stress test? What does that consist of? Is that something free? Is it an evaluation? Is it a questionnaire? Is it a series of activities? Is it a calming thing? Any medication involved in a stress test? Does anyone have any information on a stress test? Is that something that is used more today due to the focus now being on how you are feeling to do your job, understanding people's needs outside of the workplace now that the tension is there? Is a stress test more out in the workplace today, or is it a little bit still hush hush how it was back in the 90s and early 2000s? If you wanted to talk to somebody, a psychiatrist or a counselor, they kept that on the hush hush. How is a stress test today? They give it to athletes all the time, but I never knew what consisted of a stress test. It must be a series of exercises. Then they must monitor something while you're going through their stress test. I'm wondering what it must consist of. I didn't want to go to YouTube or Google. I want to go to the people, by the people, of the people, and for the people. Speaking of for the people, we got football this weekend. We have football this weekend. Football this weekend. We all know who's in. But this wild card weekend, we know it deems trouble sometimes. We all know what Marshawn Lynch did. We know what he did. Boom. The seismograph run. The run that shook up the world. There's always something wild that goes on during the wild card weekend, which is fun. But we got some fun matchups for sure. Cleveland at Houston. I'm Fluco for Flacco. The fact that man was at home chilling, the fact that man could be a father to some of his teammates, as he said, if he would have made a mistake in high school. He could be the dad of some of those kids as his teammates with the Cleveland Browns. Good friend of the show, recently married, D from D&D. Don't get butthurt. Check us out each and every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. She's a huge Cleveland Browns fan, and she's definitely pulling for Cleveland to win this game. But Houston showed me something in the words of C.J. Stroud, the wrist, the flick of the wrist. The last person I see flick the wrist like that was Michael Vick. To flick the wrist and throw the ball that far down the field. I'm looking at the hidden intangibles of this matchup in this game with Houston. Yeah, it's a wild card, but they can still build on this. They can build on this for sure. What's happening, Wally? What's going on? Thanks for tuning in, and happy Friday to you, my man. Hope you're feeling better, and happy New Year to you. But I like watching Houston play based on what they've done in previous years, where they tease us with a playoff appearance, where they tease us with an attempt to build on something, i.e., when they had the great defense and when they had Andre Bad Beats Johnson. They didn't do anything with that. Now, this is a different group than before. I'm wondering what this group can do. But just focusing on the now with this team and where they're at right now, they're a very, very exciting team to watch. But you don't see that many Houston games. So all we have is a highlight. And based on the highlights that I've seen, I don't see a consistent thing happening with them on defense. We know what they can do offensively, but defensively, I need to see a little bit more in that, especially in the playoff scenario situation. Now, we know Cleveland is coming in as probably one of the top defenses in the playoff scenario of this first round. And Cleveland is looking good. Flacco got into a situation where there's a familiarity with him in the offensive coordinator and the way the plays are called. It's very easy for him to come in there because he knows that system. He knows that scheme. This is going to be a fun game to watch. I'm pulling for Cleveland in this one due to the fact the old man Joe Flacco. Huh? Way to be the contributor, huh? Like pulling for the older athletes sometimes. The nightcapper, the one everybody talking about, it's going to be cold. It's supposed to be cold in January in the Midwest. Okay? This is what Mike McDonald was preaching. McDaniel was talking about taking advantage of these games we should win so we could lock up home field advantage. And they did not do that. So they must do what? Leave Miami, Florida, and go to Kansas City, where it's supposed to be -2 at kickoff. Hey, they all right. They got heated seats, padded gloves, heated gloves. They all right. That'd be just fine. I don't know which Miami team is going to show up. I don't know. Don't know which team. They have a running game at the running back with the most touchdowns in Dolphin history. And look, think of all the greats there. And this man just surpassed that. They're not 100% healthy at the receiving core. Tua has not been himself. I'm wondering what's going on in the inner sanctions of the Dolphins when it comes to the offensive play calling and the game plan. I think I'm going to watch the latest episode of Hard Knocks after the show and get a better understanding on where this football team is trying to head to. What's the game plan? What's the message? On the other side of this, Kansas City has not been playing the type of ball we're accustomed to seeing Kansas City play. Yeah, we can blame it on the receivers dropping the ball. I get that. We can blame it on Kelsey being distracted by his new ass. We get that. But there's something still missing from that team that I haven't seen the past 2, 3, 4 years. It's a different Kansas City team. It don't seem as hungry to me as in years past and in games past. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring affair at all due to the weather. This will be more of a time of possession in field positioning in the turnover game. I think Kansas City can do that. I got Kansas City winning this game probably 13-10. I don't see too many points being scored in this game at all. I see a real conservative game plan. Everybody's going to be really timid on who's going to make the mistake first. In that first matchup, I got Cleveland over Houston 27-14. 27-14. And I got Kansas City 13, Miami 10. And then Sunday, fun day. It's on. This is going to be a fun game to start off Sunday. You got a young man who used to play for a team that almost destroyed his entire human body, that being Matthew Stafford, as the LA Rams take on Detroit Lions. I bet there won't be any boos. I think they're too classy and they respect what Matthew Stafford did for Detroit. It's not his fault it didn't work out there because, damn it, they tried. They tried. But that offensive line, they owe that man every apology in the book for they almost just destroyed Matthew Stafford's body in Detroit. This ought to be a fun game. And shout out to my youngest kid, Tim. That's his squad, Detroit. This should be a fun, upbeat crowd. I just don't want Detroit to go ahead and do Detroit shit, do Detroit things, unbecoming of Detroit, where it just all goes away. All this hard work cannot just fall apart in hosting your playoff game for the first time since the Beatles' last album, I do believe. And the Rams, I think the last 3 games of the season, I saw a different Rams team, a little bit more crisp. Communication was a whole lot better. The defense was coming alive. See a total different team in that Rams team than I did the first part of the season as opposed to the last 3 games of the season. If that same team right there can show up, they got good tight end play. We know what they can do at the receiving core. We know the quarterback situation. We know that defense can really get at you, and you got to stop number 99, or he will make you make some bad decisions. So I'm quite sure Jared Goff going to have some flashbacks of some practices. I can't hit him, but that verbiage didn't change at all. I have the Detroit Lions winning this game. There's going to be a fun, exciting game. I can see this one going 20-10 Detroit. Next up, we got Pittsburgh and the Buffalo Bills, and nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. How can I see? The only way the Bills can screw this up, because there's more than advance in the playoffs on the line. It's the future of what that team is going to play at. They want a new arena. They want a new stadium. Only way that happens if they keep winning football games. Can they win football games? But we know Josh is going to do Josh type things. An ill-advised throw, a run when he shouldn't run, he's going to fumble. Winning the turnover game. They must win. Yes, if you can get over the 3 turnovers that Josh Allen is going to commit and still win the game, that's growth. That's understanding. We know this is going to happen. We got to watch Mr. Diggs' body language because we know he can be a Debbie Downer with his body language. So we're going to pay attention to that. I still don't know how Pittsburgh got here. But this team, the way they won last week in that crazy weather game that they played against the D squad from Baltimore, but it was still Pittsburgh did what they had to do and got the help they needed to make it to the playoffs. But Pittsburgh scares me offensively. They can't move the ball offensively with a consistent basis. This is a different week. There's more on the line than last week, believe it or not. If they can move the ball offensively without the referee's help, if they can come up with a true game plan to move the ball, I can see Pittsburgh hanging in this game, but I can overall see Buffalo win this game 34-17. I can see that one probably being the most lopsided victory of the day of those games so far. And the nightcapper on Sunday, the one that still hurts in Dallas Cowboy fans when the last time Dallas and Green Bay played in the playoffs, Dez Bryant caught that ball. That was a catch. That still hurts. That was the most egregious Sunday afternoon ever when that happened. It kind of shut down football. There was arguments for 2 weeks on what is a catch. How far out of bounds you got to hold control of the ball. All that came in. It's in the realm of the play, the referee, its decision. It's reviewable. It's not reviewable. We've been all over this. I think we need 2 more officials for each game in the playoffs. We need that to ensure we get everything right. But you got Green Bay and Dallas going at it. Green Bay is exciting to watch. No one saw them getting to the playoffs considering what happened last year. Aaron Rodgers departing and taking on the New York Football Jets, but that did not go as planned at all. And I don't think the Green Bay Packers season has been the same since then. Confidence has been brewing week by week, play by play. Camaraderie is starting to happen over there. The believability, the possibility is happening in Green Bay. And we know those fans do what? Travel. And they travel what? Well. But they're playing where? In Buffalo. And nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo. I'm sorry. And they're playing in Dallas. Green Bay travels well, and they're going to Dallas. We know the history of these teams. This possibly could be the best Dallas Cowboy team I've seen to have a Super Bowl chance since Aikman and the boys. This is the best one. They got a quarterback, running game, tight end, star receiver. Look at that defense. They got all 5 parts to do everything right. They just can't get caught up in the moment, caught up in themselves. Take it quarter by quarter. Quarter by quarter. That's how Dallas should take. Don't play timid ball. Play cowboy ball. Play what you've been doing all year at home. And Dallas could win this game easily. But if they get caught up in their head, that's when trouble is awry. That's you got Dak running for his life to throw the ball. When it's put on Dak to make a play instead of the team making the play, that's when it's going to become an issue for the Cowboys. Based on how the Cowboys been playing at home, I got Dallas winning this game here 28-7. 28-7. I can see Dallas doing that to them. That defense of Dallas is so fast for sure. So in the playoff games this weekend, we have Cleveland beating Houston. We got Kansas City beating Miami. We have the Lions beating the Rams. We got the Bills beating Pittsburgh. And we have Dallas beating Green Bay. Those are our picks right there on Saturday and Sunday in the NFL. Don't forget now, I didn't do this, But the game Saturday is exclusively on Peacock. Don't forget that. Don't forget. All right. Also coming up next week, my cousin is no longer with us, but we're going to re-release his music out there to the people, by the people, for the people, coming out January 19th. Gangsta Bubs. It'll be available. I will share it all over my social media platforms for sure. So be sure to stay tuned for that. All kind of good stuff coming up over the weekend. And I'm also wondering, we know most people are right now that are the true football fans out there that host people at their house a lot. You're probably looking more forward to getting ready for the Super Bowl more than anything. But I'm wondering, do you make a big deal out of hosting the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs? Do you take the tailgating to a whole new level? Because I'm thinking right now, this is probably the best barbecue weather we've had right here in quite some time. You picking the Cowboys. Okay, gotcha. Picking the Cowboys to win it all. A lot of people picking the Cowboys to win it all. This is probably one of the best teams they've had in quite some time to me. And they're doing it very quietly. You only hear maybe two people really talking about them in the media all the time. But for the most part, I like the chances that the Cowboys have. But back to this tailgating thing. When you get up, and it's like the weather is right now, this is football weather. You got that grill, you got a covered porch, you got some meat in that freezer. You just throw it on there and you just start doing your own little tailgate as you prep for the game, because the first game is in the afternoon on Saturday. But that tailgating at home is something else. I think it's a must do. It's not barbecuing in the summertime is easy. I like barbecuing in the winter. Oh my goodness. It makes it really worthwhile. And that time outside with just you and the grill, one-on-one, having that conversation, that slow sip of beer. You're looking at your meat, you're waving at your neighbors. Hey, Ted. And you're just getting it in. All the days of tailgating at home must be had by all. Well, folks, don't know what else you have going on this weekend. But whatever you do, be good at it. If you got to get out there in this blizzard storm, watch 24, be careful. Drive safe. You get there. Leave early. Plan accordingly. And dress for the occasion if you have to use public transportation. For all the birthday people this weekend, happy birthday to you. For those that are traveling to go see something hot or see that handsome fella, be careful. Have fun. Do something different. Do something spicy and nice. Don't be afraid to be a freak this weekend. You can always be freaky your whole life. You don't always just have to be a freak in your 18s and your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. You can be a freak your whole life. You're a grown person. It's on you. Well, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your weekend, kickstart your weekend as well as I getting ready to enjoy some relaxing times. And by the way, if you make it up to the track this weekend, stop on by FanDuel. Lots going on in college basketball, men and women, NBA, hockey, and football, of course. Check out FanDuel over in Collinsville at the track for sure. There it is right there, good people. There it is. Well, folks, we're going to get out of here, have some lunch, sit back and chill, reflect on the moment, reflect on the day, and let's not forget the details of the day. Most importantly, thank you for tuning into today's show. Until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace, and we out.